Good morning. Today we got lots of Psalms to look at, 23 through 28, 6 of them. And of course, Psalm 23, so familiar, a psalm of trust in God's protection. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I have everything I need. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures, in lush meadows, in places of abundance. He leads me beside still waters, a slowly meandering stream that isn't rushing and just causing turmoil, and slowly moving is normally safer. It's not going to wash you away and take you out that way. And he restores my soul, my whole being, and he leads me in paths of righteousness for his sake, not for my sake, but for his sake. And even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. We know this psalm. It is a beautifully written, and in all my Bibles I have the very first three words underlined. The Lord is. In the middle of verse 4, the two words with me, and then the very last word forever. The Lord is with me forever. Statement of trust and belief in God always. And it's surely goodness and mercy, certainly without a doubt. God is there coming with me. Psalm 24. The earth is the Lord's and all that is in it. Again, ascribing majesty to God, acknowledging him as creator. He has founded it on the seas, established it on the rivers. Who shall ascend to the hill of the Lord? Who will stand in his holy place? Those who have clean hearts and clean hands. Those who do not lift up their souls to what is false. Those who live in a righteous manner. And then Psalm 24 ends with, who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. Again, just describing praise and worship to God. This psalm is somewhat liturgy, but it's a praise. Lift up your heads, O gates, be lifted up, that the King of glory may come in. Open your hearts, open your minds, open yourself to God's goodness and God's graciousness, and he will indeed come in. Psalm 25, O Lord, to you I lift up my soul. O my God, in you I trust. Do not let me put to shame. When we trust in God, we believe in God, God isn't going to let us down. He's not going to put us to shame. He's not going to let our enemies have victory over us. He gives us the strength to say no to Satan. He gives us the strength to make the right decisions and to do those right things. Verse 10 of Psalm 25, all the paths of the Lord are steadfast love and faithfulness for those who keep his covenant. All the paths of the Lord, he leads me beside still waters. He restored, and he leads me to, it's all of that following together there. And then verse 11, a request and an acknowledgement. For your name's sake, O Lord, pardon my guilt, for it is great. For your name's sake, pardon my guilt. Not because I'm worth it, not because I deserve it, because I am a very guilty man, Pardon my guilt, he says, for it is great, and it's on your behalf, on your sake, because of your greatness and your power, pardon my sins. And then the last four verses of Psalm 25, consider how many are my foes, and with what violent hatred they hate me. Guard my life, deliver me. Do not let me be put to shame. Again, that do not let me be put to shame phrase, for I take refuge in you. May integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait for you. Redeem Israel, O God, out of all of its troubles. And again, there were troubles in Israel. The people were unfaithful, and David and Solomon, and they were fairly faithful leaders, for the most part, but yet there was so much going on and so much outside influence, and the other peoples of other nations and other and false gods, everything like that going on. But may integrity and uprightness preserve me. May I have the characters and the qualities that guard my life, guide my life, so that I might live in you. Psalm 26, vindicate me, O Lord, for I have walked in my integrity. I've done the right thing. you have led me, you have guided me, and you have helped me. He says, then I have trusted in you without wavering. Prove me, try me, test my heart, for your steadfast love is before my eyes, and I walk in faithfulness to you. And again, that's thanks to God for his leadership, guidance, and then acknowledging that I walk in your righteousness. I try. I hear your word. I know your word. I know your will. I know what I should do, and I try my best to do it. And then verse 4, I do not sit with the worthless. I do not consort with the hypocrites. I hate the company of evildoers and will not sit with the wicked. You know, so he understands. He understands what's going on. And the people we hang out with, you know, our friends can have a great influence on us. And I think about, you know, gangs and clubs and you know, cliques in, you know, in our schools, you know, and as we grow up, and our circle of friends, and it's who we hang out with that can really influence who we are, what we do, how we treat others, you know. And if we're in a group that follows a bully, what are we going to do? We're going to bully. If we're in a group that is kind and gracious and helpful, you know, this is who we're going to be, you know. So, you know, guard me from those evil ones and help me to associate with the good. I wash my hands in innocence, and I sing a song of thanksgiving. I tell of your wondrous deeds. And then the last, verse 11, as for me, I walk in integrity. Redeem me, be gracious to me. My foot stands on level ground. In a great congregation, I bless the Lord. My foot stands on level ground. And that level ground is mentioned again in Psalm 27, but think about level ground. I mean, this is where your weight is evenly distributed on your feet. You don't have to worry about one foot slipping out from the other. And if you're walking on a hillside, or if you're, you know, say in a ditch or alongside a stream that the bank goes down, I mean, those are slippery slopes. Those are places that it's easy to lose your footing. And again, a part of that is the people we surround ourselves with, or the people that we hang out with. You know, are they a level footing? Are they solid and secure in who they are? And are they going to encourage us as well, you know, a level footing? Psalm 27, my Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Whom should I be afraid of? You know, with God on my side, you know, I've got it made. You know, I don't have to fear the devil. I don't have to fear if I'm saved, if I'm forgiven. You mean, God is my stronghold. And he says, verse 2, when evildoers assail me, they will stumble and fall. You know, they can't stand against me when I'm standing with God. You know, and it's just that powerful. He says in verse 6, the end of it, I will sing and make melody to the Lord. And verse 8, your face, Lord, I seek. Do not hide your face from me. You know, don't be hard to find. And of course, God isn't hard to find. I mean, when we call on God, we know that he's there and hears us. And here's verse 10, if my mother and father forsake me, God will not forsake me. You know, and teach me your way, O Lord, verse 11, and lead me on a level path. You know, keep me steadfast, keep me upright, keep me on that level path, that even footing, you know. And we walk around in our yards and outside sometimes, you know, there's bumps and there's ridges, and it's easy to lose our footing. Psalm 28, to you, O Lord, I call my rock. Do not refuse to hear me. Do not drag me away with the wicked. And then verse 7, the Lord is my strength, my shield. In him my heart trusts. I will give thanks to him. You know, and so the Psalms are liturgy. The Psalms are songs. The Psalms are prayers. The Psalms are statements of great faith in this Lord our God.